Hi guys, and welcome to another tutorial with Mark. And I've got Evie here as well, she's going to be doing it alongside me. But I've got no one holding the camera, so I can't turn it around and show you Evie at the moment, because the camera's set in the correct position for doing this. So I hope you're all okay at home and not too bored. I'm trying to do as much painting as possible because it keeps me sane, as you know. And today's tutorial is going to be just using one colour or two colours mixed together, forming one colour. And that is blue, dark blue, one of these blues if you've got one, or any sort of powder paint blue, or you could even use acrylic, and you could mix those together with some black gouache, okay? Quite a lot of black gouache. Actually, I've also got black acrylic as well, so two colours, three pots, one making one colour, which is going to be a very, 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 very dark blue. Looks like black almost, but it is dark blue, very dark blue. And we're just going to use that one colour. And we're going to paint a still life today. I'm going to make it up as I go along, so I have no idea what's going to come out at all. It might go terribly wrong, or it might be okay, and I'll be all right to carry on filming. I'm not going to do any outtakes, actually. I'm just going to keep going, even if it does go wrong. Okay? I don't care anymore. Right, so the way we're going to lighten our paint, if you want to do light areas, if you want to do dark areas, for dark areas you have less water in the paint, and for lighter areas you add more water, okay? And what we might do at the end is dry it off, and then we'll might add a little bit of white pastel to it to highlight some of the lighter areas. This is an off-white paper, it's not pure white, it's like a very, very sort of a very, very light browny grey colour really, which enables me to put lighter colours over the top so they show up against the paper rather than just being pure white paper. But let's see how we go anyway. I'm trying to visualise a still life in my head. I haven't done this yet. I've done lots of still lives in my life, of course, but I'm making this one up as I go along. So first things first, I'm just going to mix up a little drop of water on my brush so that the paint becomes quite loose, okay? Not too much water, it's just the amount on my brush. And I'm using a medium-sized round brush like that. Okay, so it's got a point on the end of it. And here we go. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet. They're sunglasses, so I need actual glasses. Here we go, there's my normal glasses. And, right, so...
They're my ones. They're gems on. They're my ones.
They're yours, yeah, they're those. Right, here we go, they're my glasses. Right, thanks Evie. Right, so now I'm gonna, what should we have? Let's have a bowl here. Should we have a small bowl? We'll have a small bowl here. No, I'll tell you what, we'll do all the foreground stuff first and then we'll work our way back. So we'll have an apple here, like this. There's an apple, like that. Another one slightly behind it, so we'll just go slightly above it and over and round, like that. Doesn't come all the way down to the bottom there, so because we want it to make it look like it's further back. So it's up and over there. And we could even have another one, another apple down here, like this. Don't matter if you don't get them perfectly round, that's fine. Apples aren't always perfectly round, they look like snooker balls, are they? So, and, okay, so they're wet, of course, so I've got to be careful. Let's have a wine bottle standing up here behind these two apples. I'm going to do that. So we've got the neck of the bottle, try and keep it upright. There's the neck of the bottle, there's the top. Like that. Put a downwards curve on that, because it'll look more realistic. And then the shoulders are coming out the side there. Do those at the same time so you can sort of balance them like that. If you did one side first, you might struggle getting it the same the other side. I'm going to carry on coming out. Be careful of the stuff down there. If you're worried about that down there, dry it off with a hairdryer and then carry on. Then you can lean on it. But for now, I'm just going to be careful of it. Bring that shoulder out and turn it about there. Bring that shoulder out and turn it about there. And now I've just got to do the straight lines going down towards the two apples. So it looks like it's behind the apples. Now this is a difficult one because you've got to try and get this straight and thin. So I'm putting my finger out just to stop the brush pushing down too hard. I'm going to bring down this side now, like that, all the way down till I meet the apples, like that. That'll do for me. I'm going to put a little top on it, just an oval, just a shallow oval. So I'm just going to come over the top of that one like that, and that's job done. And just the little lip that you get at the top of a wine bottle like that. That'll be fine. Now, what else could we have in there? Should we have some sort of a jug? Let's have a jug. So each time you start to paint again, how's that going, Evie, by the way?
Okay.
Oh, that's really good. That's going all right. I'll show you Evie's at the end. She's doing all right. Evie's only 7. No, she's not. She's 8. Oh, sorry.
9 and...
You're 9 in a month's time.
No.
You're 9
Yeah.
in a week's time.
No.
No. You're
Oh,
9
yeah,
on the
Tuesday.
7th of April. Aren't you?
Tuesday.
Yeah. So I am a good father, really. Got a lot on my mind.
Should I just do the bottom here?
Yeah, just carry on. That's looking all right, yeah. Oh, yours is a little bit further out. Evie's one is a little bit further out, so
Yeah.
she's having to show the... Remember to put an upwards curve. If your bottle is further out, you would put an upwards curve on it, so it looks like the bottom of the bottle is round. Okay? I'm just going to check the phone is still in the right position. Yes, it is. That's all looking all right. Now, so we're going to have a jug here. So the first thing I'm going to do, when I do a jug, or it could be a low vase, I do an oval first. So we're going to have this as a vase, rather. No, I will do a jug. So we're going to do an oval, a very shallow oval. Now position the top. This is the top of the oval, the top of the jug, rather. And I'm going to put it about here. Downwards curve, very shallow. And then I'm going to do a lower curve. I've just put a little bit of a point on that there, look. And then I'm going to do the under curve like that, bring that round. And then I'm going to bring that in there and bring that in slightly there. See that? And then I'm using my finger here so that I don't push so hard. I'm going to do a thin line round there, like an upwards curve, but it's going to be a thin line, like that. And then I'm going to start to do the side. And here it comes out, and then it starts to curve back in. It just clips that apple there. Don't worry if yours doesn't, of course, it doesn't matter. And then we're going to do this side. I'm going to try and keep it similar shape to the other side. And it goes round there and down off there. A little bit more paint on my brush. Now I've got to try and imagine the bottom would be there. So I'm going to bring that round like that and just join that in. And there's the bottom of my jug there. Now the jug, I'm going to put a handle on it, so I've just left enough room there for a jug, a handle, and it's going to come out of there, it's going to sweep over, miss the edge and down. A little bit of a lump there where they join it on. Like that, and then I'm going to make it a little bit thicker by putting a thinner line inside it, like that. So I've got my jug handle there, okay? Now we want it to look like it's on a table, don't we? Now rather than just everything being on a plane there, that would look very funny. It would look like a cardboard cutout that could fall forward. So we're going to make the back of the table here. And it's going to go through there, stop at the wine bottle, and then reappear at the same height through there, and then reappear there, like that. You keeping up, Evie?
Yep.
She is? Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, you're doing good. Next job, we're going to put some lines on our table. Now, perspective lines are good in a still life like this. You don't want lines coming straight down on the table. These are slats in the table, by the way. You don't want them coming straight down. If they come straight down, you lose a sense of perspective. So what we do, they're all at the same constant far away area there. So in the distance there, just at the other side of the table, the lines are going to start constantly the same, always the same distance apart, okay? And we've got to try and imagine them coming forwards. Now, there's something called a vanishing point, but I don't want to get too technical, but imagine this is a pendulum, and that would be swinging with a string on it. That would be our angles for all the lines. So I'll show you what I mean. It's easier, in exactly the same way as I do my art clubs. The only way you can really ever show anybody is by actually doing it and showing them. You can try verbally as much as you like, but I tell you what, the only real way to teach is to show people. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my first slatted line on the tabletop there. So it's going there. The next one would be about there, but it's just slightly behind the wine bottle, and it's going to start to turn. Remember the pendulum? It's going to turn. So I'm not going to do it the same distance apart. They're not going to be exactly parallel with each other. They're going to get wider apart. Here we go. That one's there. The next one would be there, coming through there. The next one would be about there, coming through there. And then another one about there. And then another one, that would be up there, that would be up there, somewhere there. Like that. So you get that sense of perspective. I'm just going to check the camera again, make sure it's still filming. It is. So now we have the lines on the table, everything's in position, and this is our back wall here, which I think should we paint that, Evie?
Mm-hmm.
Should we paint it? Should we go with a lighter version of that colour that we've just drawn it with? So, okay, to get a lighter version of that colour we've just drawn it with, all you need to do with that colour is take some of it to a different plate, or to a different area on the plate rather, like that, and start adding water to it. Now there's a brushful just gone in, and I'm going to add another one, okay, and another one. Now for the background, it might be wiser to use a wider brush. Use a wider brush. If you use a wider brush, you'll get more done quickly, rather than just using a small one. So there's some paint. I'm just going to put a bit more in. So obviously you want to make sure you've got enough that you can paint in the whole background. Now bearing in mind you're putting water in it as well. And let's see how much lighter this is, and it will dry lighter of course as well. I can't go too wet with mine for obvious reasons, because obviously it would run down. But I'm going to start painting now. Here it goes. I'm just going to put some colour in. I don't mind it being patchy. It's going to look quite good patchy. It will look a bit Cézanne-ish. You know how he painted. If you know Paul Cézanne's paintings, he done some wonderful still life paintings. He was an old master. He's an old French master, and he done some wonderful still life paintings, and they're really rustic looking with apples and wine bottles. I'm not trying to paint exactly like him today, but he always had a sort of a rough background. Sometimes he would have a curtain coming in or a piece of cloth coming in and stuff like that. But for now, I'm just going to paint this in all nice and patchy around the bottle and in down there like that. And because it's got water in it, it's coming out lighter. But of course, it's only one colour we're using, which is the dark blue. But it works good. You can go crossways if you like, and down again like that, and sort of do some cross hatching. It looks quite good when you crisscross it slightly. That looks nice. So a bit more. I'm working mostly up and down when I first put it on. I'm trying to catch my drips. You'll probably be working flat on a table, so you haven't got to worry so much about your paint dripping. I'm going to go up and down, sometimes across. We will have the odd shadow going up the wall afterwards, but we know we've lit that enough that it will be fine to put a shadow on. Shadows will show up on it. How are you getting on, Evie?
Good.
Yeah? Oh, that's looking really nice. Well done, you.
It was a bit further out, so my gap is a bit wider.
Your gap's a bit wider.
Where the wine bottle is.
Oh, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's your painting.
Yeah.
You're just following me as a sort of as a song sheet reference, but your song might come out slightly different to my song. That's all right. I'm going to go around there like that, and a little bit in there. Catch my drips, and try and make it look like you didn't go around the jug by bringing your brush strokes up again. If you just go around and leave it like that, it will dry and it looks like you just went round it. We're trying to make it look like there's a wall behind there. So there we go. That's all painted in. It looks patchy, it looks arty, it looks rustic, and it looks nice. I like that.
This is kind of like a black and white painting.
It's kind of black and white, but it is actually dark blue. I think if I'd used black, I think it would have been a bit stark. That's why I decided to use the blue. Now the tabletop. Now we can make the table look a bit like wood. So we'll use the same colour as we used there, but we're going to streak it on maybe a touch more water in. And we're going to bring these lines down like that. And you leave gaps as you do it, and sometimes you might want to just do a little knot. You know, if you know what a knot is, it's one of those little circles that you see in wood, and they sometimes have a darker centre to them. So you can
sort of on your floor.
Yeah, like on the floor even. And we're just going to streak those through like that, going in the same direction as the main thicker lines, and we get sort of a wood effect. You don't want to do a knot on every one, of course, and turn the angles of the wood grain with the same angle as the darker lines. And then it looks like planks of wood which will form to make a table. Might put a knot there, a round one there. Quite watery, just be careful of the drips. There we go, and there's a knot. And then you've got the wood grain going along like that. Okay. A bit more up there, of course, in that little gap. And a little bit in there. You're doing all right, Evie. You don't have to keep up with me, and of course you don't have to keep up with me at all either, because you can just watch this through, and then you can you can pause the video, and watch bits of it in stages, so you can just go at your own pace. And I've been doing this a long time, so I'm whizzing along, but I do appreciate that some of you may need to go slower, and that's fine. With technology, you can just pause me and then catch up again, and then move me along again, and just do that. Of course, I'll be putting this will be on Facebook predominantly, and then it will go to YouTube as well. And if you see my YouTube channel, it's called Forge Cottage Art Club. If you could like it and subscribe to it, and maybe click the bell that tells you about other tutorials coming your way, that would be fantastic. In actual fact, even when we're finished with this COVID-19 coronavirus thingy, I'm sure I should carry on doing these anyway. I'll probably do one a week or something like that. I like doing them actually. I should have done them before. And of course, once the club is up and running, I can't wait for that to happen. I'm missing the club, and I'm missing all the people that come to my club. Including adults, there's about 165 students that come to Forge Cottage Art Club. It's now more than an art club really, it's now a community. It's a community of artists, all young and old, and that was something I'd always wanted to do, even when I was young. I really wanted to do something like that, and I'm glad it's happening. COVID has just put a stop to it just for a little while, but COVID isn't going to win. We'll open the club up again, and we'll all be back to normal in all our ways that we live our lives, and it'll be fantastic. I can't wait to get back to normal. This is dried off slightly here, that's quite dry now, so I can always put another little few streaks in, and it will look slightly darker, so we get more of a wood grain effect. It's very easy, just the tip of the brush, nice light touches, and that'll be fine. I've gone in between the handle there and everything, so that's fine. Now, we've got to make a decision about where the light is going to come from. Now, in this painting, I would like the light to be coming from, I think, we're going to say it's coming from here, exactly where the light is coming from. I've got spotlights up here. That's going to come along there, it's going to hit the jug, there's going to be a shadow on this side, shadow on that side of the bottle, there's going to be light on this side of the bottle, light on this side of the jug, shadow in there, light in there, shadows on this side of our apples, and light on this side of the apples, and obviously shadows on the floor. So let's start putting some colour first of all on the bottle. Now I'm going to go back to our original dark colour that we used for the stripes here for the bottle, and I'm going to colour it in, barely any water in it, just a little bit. There's no label on the bottle, I'm just going to paint it as a bottle that had its label taken off, and nice and dark up the side here. This is the shadowy side of the bottle, isn't it? So we're going to keep that dark in there. And then I'm going to leave a little gap there where a little bit of light's glinted on it, like that, and then dark again, and then dark through there, and then I'm going to go dark down the neck but leave a gap in the middle, and then then go down, dark down the side of the bottle, like that. And we'll leave a gap there too. So it looks like we've got some shine on our bottle and reflection. You can put a few lines in it actually, so it looks a bit like there's stuff reflected in that shine. And that's it. And then we'll just put a little bit of dark in that side of the top, like that. So you're leaving a little gap of light there, which is just shining on the glass bottle there. Next job is to do the jug, and the jug's going to be a slightly lighter colour. It's going to be something in between that colour and that colour. Okay, so it's going to be the dark blue again, of course, because we only have the one colour, the bluey black, and it's going to have some more water in it, more than this had, but less than that had. Let's see how it goes. So outside of the jug first, I'm going to go dark there, like that. Bring these brush strokes down, bring that round. And that's being dragged around. Because it's pottery, I quite like the idea of showing the lines going that way. And as the brush runs out of paint and water, the brush gets even lighter, doesn't it? Because obviously there's less paint on it. And as you keep going round, it gets lighter and lighter, lighter and lighter, until there's barely anything left on the brush. But it's given us a nice light side to the jug, like that. All right. Now I'm going to go a bit darker, so the same colour again as that. But if you double it up, of course, it will go darker because there's two layers of it. And if you did another layer, 3 layers, it would be the same. It would go even darker. So there's our darker touch there. Drag it round again. I won't go so far around this time because I'm trying to create a shadowy side to the jug. There we go, like that. Now we've got an apple there, haven't we? And that apple would be leaving a shadow on our jug, but we're going to go full strength with that shadow colour because it's right close to the jug and it's going to leave a shadow there. That's only the top of the shadow. There will be more shadow down here. I'll do that later, but we're just concentrating on the jug for now. Now the inside of the handle, full strength dark, around there, like that, and then we're going to use the waterier version of that colour to show the light side, and I'm going to leave a tiny slither of light where there's no paint on it at all on the handle, so it looks like the light is just catching it and it's sort of shiny. On this side of the jug, if the light's coming from this side, shadow will be there. It won't be there like this. It's the opposite to that. So shadow is going to go in here to give it the 3-dimensional look. Like that. And as that comes out, it fades out. I'm going to take some paint off the brush and let that drag through like that until we get light there, like that. I may just put a little bit of dark at the bottom there, like that. A bit more dark there, of course. Now what have we got left to do? We've got an apple, and an apple. So let's colour the apples in medium strength dark blue. Okay, here we go. This is the shadowy side. This is obviously the light side is on the right. Let's put where the centre of the apples will be, the little dent that you get in an apple. I'll show you actually. I've got an apple over here. This part.
It's not a real one though.
No, it's not a real one. It's a plastic apple. So that's still videoing, yes, for up to 23 minutes. Right, so there's your apple. This one's got a stalk in it, but that dent there, we'll show that as a shadow, so it looks more like a real apple. And I'm going to just put the centre of the apple there on that one. That one's there, and that one's there like that. Now we're going to go with a watery blue, and we're going to put it around this side, like that. In there, in that dent, and bring it underneath, but don't put too much up here. In fact, it's going to be just a small amount going up there like that. And then we're going to put some on this one, put some in the dent, and the shadow under there, and not too much up there in that area because it's meant to look like the lights on it. And in the dent there we'll put a shadow, and round here underneath the apple slightly, and then bring it round, but not too much in that area. Again, like that. Okay. Now we need shadows on the table. So we're going to put a shadow here. It's going to be coming off the wine bottle and going up the wall. So it's going to go like that for the wine bottle. Just starts there, like that, until it hits where the wall meets the table. And then the bottle's going to come up the wall, the shadow of it, and then it's going to turn in like that. And just have a kind of a shadowy shape of a wine bottle, which is darker than the wall colour, so it shows up. There we go, look, there it is. And there's our wine bottle shadow on the wall. Like that. Nothing too dark, it's just a little bit darker than the wall. And just gives a hint of a shadow up the wall there. Our jug as well is not quite going to reach the wall as much as the wine bottle does. It's just going to get to about there. Colour that bit in there and colour through there, but maybe leave a little slither of light there, like that. And that's our wine, that's our jug shadow there. And then the apples are going to have shadows coming off them like this, and it's a sort of an oval underneath them. And where they start is their darkest part, so you'll just need to darken that down a little bit more there. And it's an oval. That one's got one there, look. And that one's got one too there, which joins into that one there, like that. Now, going back to the apples, we can show a bit more strength on our shadows, so I'm going to just bring that dark, same colour as that one, just going to go a bit darker around there, and put a little bit of a shadow in there, a bit more shadow there, and a touch more shadow on this one, like that. And you can do bits and pieces to this as you go along, just tidying up areas like this. And where's the centre of that apple there? There it is, just there. Okay, so what else does it need? Not really very much, to be honest with you. I'm going to just touch that in a bit there. And now, what I normally do is usually use some light, some white pastel, but because I've left gaps, we're going to show our light parts with a blue pastel. All right, we're going to use a blue pastel, and it's just a pale blue, like this, like that one. Just a pale. It's a chalk actually. It's a pale blue chalk, and I'm just going to add some to this. This is quite dry now because I don't work very thick. You can dry yours if you're worried, and then we're just going to put some into it here and there. Like that. We're not going to block out all the light gaps, we're not going to block them all out, we're just going to add to them and leave some gaps and put a bit of blue on there like that. Through there, put on the handle. On our apples, remember this is a blue scale picture, not a grey scale, blue scale. So yeah, we know apples aren't blue, but this is a piece of art which is using just blues. And a little bit on that one. Nothing too much, and a little bit on that one, and you can drag some onto the table, here and there. Not too much, of course, just wherever you think. Put it there, like that. And we can put some on the background as well, so I might just lighten up that bit through there. Right here, some blues, nothing too much, just drag it on, go down and up, crisscross, like that. And there we have it, a very quick still life. I didn't smudge at all, I haven't done any smudging. I've just kept it all very rustic and sketchy. And then once you've done it, you can put your signature on it down in the corner. I'll put mine down here. Mason, like so. Anything else? Like that, done. And there we have it. Now, I haven't shown Evie's yet. She's still doing hers and she has a little bit more to do.
Yeah.
But I'm going to pick up the camera now and
Show my one.
show you Evie's one. So let's pick this up. I'll just bring you closer to my one as well. Just zoom out a touch now. There we go, so there's that one. All right, and we'll just do the magic frame that we always do. So pop a frame over it, and it makes it look so much nicer once a frame's on. There you go. And then we're now going to show you Evie's one. Here she is working. Hi Evie.
Hello.
And this is what Evie's done, trying to keep up with me. And I tell you what, I'm pretty pleased with that. I think once she's done her shadows and all the other bits and pieces, that will be lovely, and she will put some pastel on it and all that kind of stuff. But that's very good, Evie. Done a beautiful job. Lovely work. I hope you all do a great job at home too. And don't forget, I absolutely love seeing all your artwork, so please send them to me. And then I'll put them on our Facebook Art Club page, Forge Cottage Art Club, of course. And we'll take a look at those later on. So get busy, get painting, and I'll see you all soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.